Hello, and welcome back to the Armchair Armory with me, Deepai. So it's finished at the Emirates Stadium. Oh, happy Valentine's Day, by the way. It's finished at the Emirates. Arsenal 4, Leeds United 2. I predicted 3-2, so I was one off. But all in all, a pretty decent performance by Arsenal, especially in the first half. The first half we were 3-0 up, pretty much in control. Only really saw one winner. Carried that on again at the start of the second half, and there was a bit of a shaky 25 minutes at the end as Leeds pulled 2 goals back. But all in all, I think that would just be nitpicking. I think that it was a very, very good performance, and it was exactly what we need going into 2 difficult games against Benfica on Thursday and Man City next Sunday. It was an end-to-end game, really. Leeds do what they've done all season, just basically attack wholeheartedly, keep pushing until that goal comes, until a mistake is made. It seems as if they're very happy to leak goals, if it means pushing forward and getting a goal themselves. I remember when Unai Emery was appointed manager, he said he would rather win 5-4 than 1-0. And Marcelo Bielsa definitely seems like he adopts that philosophy. Unai Emery, however, didn't seem to ever really do that. Mind you, we did leak a lot of goals under Unai Emery. So it was an interesting lineup. It was completely wrong to what I predicted. Leno came back in. I didn't actually realise that Leno and David Luiz were only banned for 1 game. I thought it was 3, but anyway. So Leno and David Luiz came back in. Ceballos came in for Partey. Smith Rowe moved over to the left, which meant that Pepe was dropped for this game, or he was on the bench. And Odegaard started in that number 10 role. Also, Aubameyang came in for Lacazette, which is something I really didn't think would happen. And it turned out to be the right decision by Mikel Arteta, because he went on to score a hat-trick. A very, very good hat-trick as well. The first goal was a one-on-one with the defender on the left-hand side. Couple of step-overs. Shot at the left-hand near post. 1-0. We had a penalty disallowed when Saka was through on goal, and it looked like he was tripped by Cooper, I think his name is. And it turned out that he just tripped over. The thing that annoyed me about it is that it was very similar to the penalty decision against Wolves, where David Luiz brushed against Willian Jose. But I don't like to play on conspiracy theories, but just saying. So that was disallowed by VAR. So 2 minutes later, Leeds are trying to play out from the back, and the goalkeeper just changes his mind at the last minute, and Saka goes in to try and take the ball off of him, and the goalkeeper ends up taking him down. This time, obviously, the referee can't turn it down. Penalty. Oversteps up. Makes the keeper go the wrong way. 2-0. For the third goal, it was a wonderfully worked team goal, which was a run-in by Saka. He ran across from right to left. He ran across the box. Passed in to Emil Smith Rowe, who then slided it through to Ceballos. Ceballos then quickly touched it along to Bellerin, and Bellerin at the right near post just squeezed it in. I think the Leeds goalkeeper was having a mare, to be honest. He wasn't really having a great game. So we went in 3-0 at half time, and everything looked good. It looked like it was. Graham Souness said something interesting on Sky. He said it's either going to be 3-3 or 6-0. Because of the way that Leeds play, basically. And And then we come out in the second half, not too long in, a cross that looked like he was going for the far post. From Emil Smith Rowe, it looked like he was going for the far post, but it looked that then it sort of like veered away from the far left post, and Aubameyang got his head on the end of it. So that's Aubameyang's first, I believe, his first hat-trick for Arsenal. So it was good to see him back on the score sheet after everything that's happened with his bad run of form and the situation with his mother and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, like, he seemed very humbled at the end of the game because he was saying thanks to the fans and everyone that's wished him well with his mother and everything. So I'm glad to see that he's back on the score sheet, and it's around the right time when we've got 2 difficult games coming up, and hopefully he can recreate that form come Thursday and Sunday. Leeds then pulled one back through a header from, I can't pronounce his name, Pascal what something. It happened so quickly I didn't really have time to review it really. It just looked like it came out of nowhere. I mean, I remember the camera cut to Bernd Leno, and Bernd Leno was just looked perplexed. He looked like he didn't know what day it was. He was like, how did that get past me? But then the second goal was, I think, just a lapse in concentration. I forget who put in the through ball to Helder Costa, but Bellerin wasn't watching that person that put through Helder Costa, and Helder Costa just got on the end of it, first time shot, straight in, 4-2. And I think for the last 15 minutes it was a bit nervy, but I feel that there was good game management. We managed to get through it, and we get out with the 3 points. We hopefully have put this bad run of these bad 2 games against Villa and Wolves behind us now. And as I keep saying, the main objective for this season is to just get as high as we can in the table. Again, I repeat myself, there wasn't, from my perspective anyway, there was no expectation that we were going to get in the top 4. I think I said to someone that I work with, who's a Man United fan, I said to him, I think he asked me, what do you think of Arteta? What do you think he's going to do? And I'm like, well, the most we'll get is 6th. And that wasn't even because of Arteta. It's just because of the players that we have and the situation we were in financially. I knew that like 6th is the highest we're going to get. And at this moment in time, sorry to paraphrase what Tom Canton from the Gooner Talk said, but we are a mid-table team that is wins sometimes, loses sometimes, draws sometimes. We're not consistent. So at the moment we are a mid-table team, a potential Europa League winner, so to speak. We're on that same level as, Sevilla, or to some extent maybe Atletico Madrid. But like Atletico Madrid are a weird team because sometimes they go really far in the Champions League, and then there's that season where they dropped out of the Champions League and we ended up playing them in the semi-final. And they kind of have a mixed... They are quite an inconsistent side a lot of the time. But we are similar to that in a way. I'd probably say we're more like Sevilla. They're another sort of like inconsistent side, but can turn it on against big teams like Manchester United, for example, when they knock them out of the Champions League. They're back on Thursday nights as well. Yeah. Oh, yay, the Europa League. To be fair, like I agree with a lot of Arsenal fans in the public eye that have said that it would be good if we didn't have Europe last season. I said that last season, actually. I said I don't think it's a good idea that we even have European, because I think we just need a domestic season to kind of like get back on track. This summer's going to be big, basically. And I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing if this summer is big without Europe. So we shall see. So yeah, player ratings. Leno, I will give a 7. Pretty decent performance. Didn't really have to do too much apart from he wasn't really at fault or couldn't do any better for the 2 goals. A bullet header, which most goalkeepers can't do much about. And then he was, the whole team was caught napping. The whole defensive line was caught napping at the time of the second goal. So I'll give him a 7 because I think he had a solid performance. Bellerin, I'll give a 6. I didn't really see anything that kind of stood out to me as like, apart from the goal, that was amazing. And I would have given him a 7 just for that. But because he was caught napping, for the run for Leeds' second goal. I'll have to put that down. Gabriel, I'll give a 7. Again, solid performance. Didn't really see anything that was too amazing, but it was good enough to warrant a 7. Cedric, I'll give a 7 as well. Didn't really put a foot wrong. Was good defensively. I was quite happy with his performance. David Luiz, I'll also give a 7. He was probably the better of the 3 defenders. Of the 4 defenders. I think he did really well. Saka, I'll give an 8. I think again, just what that kid can do is unbelievable. I mean, along with Phil Foden, he is probably the best, one of the best teenage young players in the country. Like the run he did across the box for the second goal, or for the third goal, was unbelievable. Like the composure he had to keep the ball for as long as he did was brilliant. So I'll give him an 8. Ceballos, I'll give an 8, because I thought Ceballos controlled the midfield pretty well. He was always winning second balls. He didn't do what he normally does, where he overskills, I like to call it, where he does all the fancy stuff, and then he's still doing the fancy stuff, but the player that's taken the ball off of him has left him long ago while he's playing, step overs with the air. But today he did really well. Odegaard, I also give a 7. He was very energetic. Definitely seems like he can put up with the pressure of the Premier League. And he already seems like he fits in quite well. Whether we sign him permanently is a different story. I don't know if it's the answer. But if it turns out that he's part of the reason we win the Europa League, or we get into the top 6, or we get as high as we can in the table, then why not? It's better to carry on with the relationship that we have with Real Madrid, instead of like severing it and going for someone else that's a lot more expensive. Xhaka, I also give a 7. Again, I don't think really he's put a foot wrong in the last couple of games. Probably ever since Chelsea, I don't think he's put a foot wrong. So yeah, 7 for Xhaka. Aubameyang, I'm going to give an 8. I toyed with giving a 9, but I think an 8's fine. He did really well. I'm already seeing people saying, "Oh, Aubameyang's back to his best." It's like, well, it's been one game. It's good to see him score, and I hope he takes that into the next games. But let's see what happens. Holding, standard 5, didn't really do very much. Again, he was still winning balls and winning headers and things like that. Elneny, standard 5. And Willian, standard 5. He didn't really do anything too bad today, to be fair. I did sort of like put my head in my hands when I saw he was coming on. But I think that's just because I've been conditioned by the Arsenal Society, the Arsenal Fan Society, to believe that like we can't support Willian. He did sort of suck the energy out of the team, which was interesting. It was quite funny reading Twitter of when he was coming on, people saying, "Oh, that's it, the game's over. He's gonna kill the game." Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's 4-4 now because Willian's coming on. It's like, you can't blame him for everything. But anyway. Yeah, so standard 5 for him. And then Arteta, I'll give an 8. I think he made the right choices. I think he made a lot of the lineup choices that he made for with Thursday in mind. Sorry, I just knocked the microphone. And then I also feel, although the Willian thing, us fans are going to have a problem with that anyway when Martinelli sat there. But that's the thing. We can't tell what the situation with Martinelli is. He might be not match fit. He might not be ready to come back. So that's why he's playing Willian. I don't know. Or it could be what Robbie said, that it's because of his contract, because he's got amount of the games he has to play in his contract. Who knows? But I'll give him an 8. I think he did mostly everything right today. So right. So we move on to Benfica. Second round of the Europa League. Can we get through that unscathed before the mammoth task of trying to get something from Manchester City at the Emirates on Sunday, which is the way they're playing? I don't know. Well, I will speak to you next with on the Armchair Armory with the preview for the Benfica game, which hopefully should be Tuesday. Yeah, so until then, stay